Everyone, and welcome back to Online Equestrian Lessons. I'm Katie. I am a CHA certified riding instructor here at Hedgebrook Stables. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about feeding a horse that has allergies or heaves, things like that. So anyways, first of all, I definitely want to say that you should definitely talk with your vet or an equine specialist of what will be the best sort of diet for your horse, and preventative measures being number one. So if you can prevent sort of that asthma attack sort of reaction in your horse, or prevent him from getting sick in the first place, that is the most important. But I wanted to show you guys today what has worked for my horses for preventative, and then some supplements that I use that just really help them. So first of all, in their buckets right here, I have some oats. So oats are actually 99% digestible for horses. So it just helps put a little extra weight on that they need. And then the next thing that I have is a pellet that is foraged based and made for horses. So this is a 14% pellet. So my horses are actually allergic to corn. So I have to make sure that it is forage based and that it doesn't have any corn products or byproducts in it. So that is another thing as well, is if you can get your vet to sort of allergy test them and see what your horse is allergic to, you'll really be able to better prevent your horse getting allergies and allergic reactions from different things that he's eating and things that he's around as well. So anyways, my horses get a little bit of this grain, and then sort of the supplements that I feed them, the number one thing that I feed is cough-free, and I have really noticed a huge difference with this. So some of the sort of symptoms that my horses have had is really like runny noses, and if your horse is having like green or yellow or white sort of runny noses, that's not very good. So definitely talk to your vet. But this has really helped them. And they get 1 scoop each of this in their food. And I'm actually out of that one. So, but they just get 1 scoop, and this really lasts quite a long time. So this is the smaller one. Let's see. This is a 48-day supply, and this is a 70-day supply. So, but they both last quite a while, which is really nice. And I feed this, I split them up. So if I buy this one, I'm feeding it to 2 horses. So it's going to last a little bit less, but it just works really well. So that's what I like to feed my horses. And then another thing that is really important for horses that have heaves and things, or really any horse in general, is vitamin E. You should really be feeding vitamin E unless your horse has unlimited 24/7 year-round access to fresh, lush pasture. If not, they really can't get the amount of vitamin E that they need. So I won't go over the dosage of this because every horse is going to be different with their size and everything. My boys are pretty big. So anyways, but this is something to definitely talk to your vet about. And now you can also get vitamin E in smart packs, which is just a little bit easier. And basically you just open it up, pour it on your horse's food, and it's just really easy. So I would go with whatever is more economical for your horse, and just cheaper in your area. So, but this is really handy if you run out. You can go to like a pharmaceutical store and get that. So, and then so another thing that I use, if I feel like I'm going to be in a dusty environment, which that is one thing you really try not to be in any kind of dusty environment. But if I feel like my horse is going to have a little bit of a hard time that day, or I just want to make sure that I'm preventing as much irritation to him as possible, or he is really having some irritation, this will help open his airways. And this is called Cough Ease. It's an equine cough remedy. It's all natural. And you can pour a little bit of this into like a syringe like this. I add some water to it and then just squirt it in his mouth, and it really helps open his airways. It's kind of like Vicks for us, or like a chest rub for us. So sometimes in the wintertime, if I feel like, he just needs a little bit of a boost, I'll give him some of this. So anyways, it's just a really good natural source to have. So I really, really like having that on hand. So we've got our grain that we're making sure that there's nothing in it that he's allergic to. We've got our where did it go? We've got our cough-free. Okay, we've got our vitamin E, we've got the cough ease if we need it, that's all natural. And then the other thing that I give all of my horses is apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar, even for us, has a lot of health benefits. So I just make sure that I put it in my horse's feed every day because I just want to make sure that I'm preventing any health problems possible. So I just pour a little bit of this. You can just get any kind of little measuring thing, and I probably give about 1 ounce, and I pour it in my horse's feed. Okay. And then the other thing that is so important is your horse is going to be having his head down in his bucket eating his food, and you want to make sure that there's not any dust at all. And you might not think your horse's food is dusty, but there is going to be a little bit of sort of dust from your horse's food. Not necessarily dust, but just like small granules and things. And you want to make sure that if your horse is having his head down in his food, that he's not inhaling any particles of dust or anything like that. So it's so important to try to minimize anything like that as much as possible. So I wet all of my horse's feed down. Another thing is the hay that you're feeding. Make sure that you're wetting it down. It doesn't have to be soaked necessarily per se, because if you soak it, you're going to get rid of a lot of sugar. So unless your horse is IR, you don't necessarily need to soak it, but wet it down enough that you keep down any dust. Even if you think that your hay isn't dusty, just doing that preventative is so important. And this has just been working really, really well for my horses. So anyways, another thing, just a couple more tips, is making sure that your horse can live outside as much as possible. And if he does have to be inside a stall, make sure that if you sweep your barn, if you throw hay down, when you clean your stalls, when you do disinfecting, anything like that, that your horse is outside in the fresh air. If he is inside, try to make sure that you can open as many doors and windows as possible so he's getting fresh air. Making sure that his living environment is as clean as possible. And then try not to ride in dusty arenas and things like that. So that's just my little sort of preventative that I do for my horses. So I hope this really helps you guys. But again, talking with an equine specialist or a vet is definitely your #1 goal for making sure that your horse stays healthy. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and happy riding.